Welcome to the highlights of the first day's play of the New Year Test between Australia and India at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It's the traditional game following the Boxing Day Test won by Australia. They lead 2-0 in the series. These are the teams nominated by the skippers just before the toss. The Australians, they have Michael Whitney as 12th man. Merv Hughes passed his fitness test. Shane Warne makes his debut in Test cricket for Australia. The Indians have made changes to their side. Azharuddin and Shastri there as captain and vice-captain, but Navjot Sidhu has been flown from India to take part in this match. He takes the place of Srikanth. There is Manjrekar, Tendulkar, Venkata, Kapil Dev, Prabhakar, and Pandit comes in for Kiran Moray, who is injured. He's been successful, Moray, in the first two tests, but he is out of this one because of a hamstring injury. Srinath and Banerjee comes in for Venkatapati Raju. Ganguly is the 12th man. Tony, we join play now in the second over. Prabhakar is the bowler. Mark Taylor is taking strike. Australia without loss.
That's through the gap on the offside. Back for the third. So the Australians on their way. Got that one away, and it's running down towards the boundary. Into the fence it goes.
Oops, he calls it. Hits the stumps to be gone. Can he hit him? Oh, the man wasn't up either. Poor cricket by India. Tara stranded 3/4 of the way down the pitch. The throw was bad. Sidhu fumbled. He wasn't up to the stumps. Dear, oh dear, what a let-off for Mark Taylor.
Yes, he responded very quickly to Jeff Marsh's call. Marsh realizing the ball had travelled a bit, and pretty poor cricket from Sidhu, who made a good effort to come in there but was not quite there.
Double change. Srinath coming into the attack. Right arm, medium fast. Gone, dropped. Oh, straight to third slip for Barker. A regulation catch. Dear, oh dear, he had that and he spilled it. And that's a bad start for India. Bowled him. Well, that's a great start for Banerjee. Marsh bowled around his legs. 1 for 22.
And what a breakthrough. Just what India needed. I think Marsh was well forward, well across, leaving his leg stump exposed, and that's just the breakthrough that India needed. They must have been a little disappointed at the dropped catch earlier on, but this must give them new heart.
1 for 22.
So strong on the square cut.
Yes, he loves the cut, David Boone. The outfield a little slow. It's quite lush, the outfield. David Boone just doing some avoiding there. Just taken by surprise.
Yes, he made a bit of a mess of that, David Boone. I don't know whether he picked it up or not, but he's normally a good hooker and cutter. This time he pulls out and he doesn't keep his eye on the ball until very late, and just as well he did.
Seeing another change of bowling at the Paddington end. Manoj Prabhakar. That's the attempted bouncer. Mark Taylor quite happy with anything short, particularly on a wicket of this pace.
Well, that's foolish bowling by Prabhakar. They've been very tidy the last 20 minutes. Picked up a wicket. He dropped in a long hop bounce, and Mark Taylor's a beautiful pull or hooker. This is a pull shot in front of square leg. Beautifully balanced, and it went all the way along the carpet for 4.
I tell you, that may well remain the shot of the day, no matter what else is done between now and the close of play. That was a fierce pull shot.
David Boone is normally a good player of the short pitch ball. He's into position very quickly there. If in fact the fast bowler suggests he tries using the middle of the bat, he's just done it. Banerjee, quite a tall young man, not overly quick.
We saw the pull shot in the last over Srinath bowled, and now a classic straight drive from David Boon. Two lovely shots.
David Boon has played a number of well-timed drives since the luncheon break, most of which have gone direct to a fieldsman. On this occasion, he hit it back in the best possible position, straight back past the bowler. Once you beat the bowler, there's rarely any fieldsman behind there. Fortunately for the Indians, it only just rolled into the fence, so it shouldn't have been knocked out of shape.
And that'll go all the way. Very delicate late dab. There's no third man, and Taylor finds that gap with no difficulty on this very accommodating batting pitch. And Australia move on to 102. Just getting in for his 50th run. So Mark Taylor, good 50 in spite of the early chances.
That's out. Mark Taylor's got the outside edge. And the new ball has worked for Australia, for India. And Mark Taylor is out for Australia. The second wicket has fallen for 117.
Well, that's certainly a very good delivery by Banerjee. In his first test match, he's picked up both wickets, and that is a crucial breakthrough for India at a time when these two seem to be entirely on top. Gone for 56, 2 for 117. Mark Waugh coming in here at number 4.
And when he comes in a good position, a dominant position like Australia are in at the moment, he really has shots like that to take advantage of it. He is a marvellous onside player. It's 2 for 121.
It's gone. Well, there you go. He's got 3, and that's the end of Mark Waugh. All of a sudden, India lift their game. Banerjee, the hero at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
It's a slightly casual shot there from Mark Waugh. Seemed to have played it very loosely. And the edge going to Manoj Prabhakar at gully. Simple catch, but a loose shot from Mark Waugh.
3 for 25, Banerjee, and India delighted with his performance on debut. 3 for 127. Dean Jones. It's a beautiful shot. Glorious cover drive. That'll bring up his 50. Well played. Very positive cover drive.
It's a nice little half volley, wide outside the off stump for David Boon to get his 50 with. But even if the ball is pitched there, you've got to hit it and then find the gap. David Boon's done precisely that.
Well, that is a good delivery. Bounced a little bit, surprised Boon. He manages to get it away through the gap on the offside. And is it going to get to the fence? Yes, it is.
Indian bowling has been more restrictive rather than destructive.
It was a very difficult caught and bowl chance. Now a run-out chance, and he's out. Dean Jones has been upset by the missed opportunity by Ravi Shastri. Tendulkar was the fielder at mid-on who came and collected the ball after Shastri had knocked it down. He's fired it back to the wicket-keeper and beaten Dean Jones home.
Yes, that was fine thinking by Sachin Tendulkar, seeing Jones trying to regain his crease at the bowler's end, firing the throw at the wicket-keeper and getting a vital breakthrough for India. 4 for 211 Australia now.
Close, got to be very close. My word, he maybe got inside edge. Very confident appeal from the bowler. Behind the wicket, umpire Steve Randall officiating.
Well, just querying the umpire there, I think, as to why it was not out. And I can understand him asking the question.
Well, that must have been very, very close.
Well, no more excitement after that until the close of play, when the Australians finished at 4 for 234. That's the way their card looked. Marsh 8, Taylor 56, War 5, and Dean Jones, that brilliant run out by Tendulkar for 35. 89 for David Boon, just 11 away from another 100 at the SCG, and Border 14. The bowling figures for India, well, they played their 4 seam bowlers. Banerjee making his debut, a day he will never forget. 16 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 36.
Through, that's a fine shot. Timed that on drive beautifully. Waiting for the swing. Didn't really go through with the stroke. It was all timing, and it goes all the way. Boon into the 90s. Indians without luck this morning. They've bowled quite well. Done him again. He's gone this time. Beautiful piece of bowling. That was always on. He'd angled across rather than the in-swing when he picks up Border for the 9th time.
He really does like bowling to Alan Border. Feel just, or you notice just an extra spring in his step. Kapil Dev, a faint edge there, and Pandit doing the trick. So a beautiful piece of bowling, and the Indians have got the breakthrough they need. And Australia are now 5 for 248.
Ian Healy, the hero of the Melbourne Test match with the bat, with a magnificent 60, taking guard.
In the air, and up goes the throw. That's out. Healy doesn't like it. Shrikant, the substitute fieldsman at forward short leg, taking the catch, and it was a very half-hearted appeal, which would suggest it was a big edge.
Ball nipping back, and Shrikant just tossing the ball up, but umpire Peter McConnell having no doubts whatsoever.
So there he goes, Ian Healy, normally very dangerous. Unfortunately, on this occasion, only 1 run, 6 for 251. That's the way down towards fine leg. It's running down there. Boon turns for the second. Back he comes. Comfortably home. Well played, David Boon. A chanceless century. His 11th Test century, 9th in Australia, 4th against India, and 4th at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Oh, and that's beaten him. He's out, caught behind. No doubt about that. There was a little edge, went flying through to the wicketkeeper. And again, not a very elevated appeal, but up they went, and Merv Hughes has nicked one and is out.
Yes, Prabhakar had put a leg slip in, making Merv Hughes believe that he was going to bowl the ball coming into him, but the ball went away. And that's fine bowling by Manoj Prabhakar. Australia 7 for 259.
Craig McDermott is the new batsman. Well bowled, beautifully bowled, right up in the block hole, and that off stump is not a pretty sight. A lovely delivery right up there, and that's the way to handle the tailenders. Craig McDermott, clean bowled there by Prabhakar. Have another look at this. Swings in as well. It wasn't quite a Yorker, but it's made a mess of the stumps, that's for sure. Prabhakar doing a good job here for India. Well, the drinks are coming out onto the ground, and Australia are now 8 for 269.
Shane Warne, Victorian, playing his first Test match for Australia.
And that's brought one of the biggest roars of the match. This time, umpires have relented, and Shane Warne has got off the mark.
Well, there's no question about that one. He cracked that behind point. Superb shot by Warne.
That's it. Caught behind. That's the end of Warne. A thick edge, that one. Nicely taken too. And Warne, in his first appearance in a test match, has been involved in a pretty useful partnership with David Boon, out caught behind for 20.
Yes, a good delivery and a very good catch. Just beaten by the length here and the movement away with a fine knock by Shane Warne on debut 20. There's the movement, a bit away from his body, and a very good catch by Pandit. He's done a good job for India, but a fine partnership ends with Kapil Dev taking his second wicket. It's 9 for 313.
Bruce Reid is the new batsman. He's a left-hander of sorts. In the air and well caught. That's the end of Reid. 2 balls later. One off the meat of the bat to mid-wicket. The next off the edge straight to gully.
It's a good piece of bowling, a good catch by Tendulkar. Third slip, 3 wickets for Kapil Dev. He's a lion-hearted performer along with Prabhakar. They've done a great job here today for India. A great effort by David Boon. We see Reid there flashing outside the line. Never really covers the ball, does he? Way from the body. Tendulkar took a sharp catch. But what a good effort by David Boon. Coming in at number 3, he's batted right through to be 129 not out of 313. Certainly not a fast knock, but certainly a great team effort from David Boon. A standing ovation from the smallish crowd. Well played.
And this is the way the Australian card looked at the end. 313 all out. Boon unbeaten on 129. 20 for Shane Warne, who showed good common sense on his debut in Test match cricket there before falling to Kapil Dev, caught by wicketkeeper Pandit, and Bruce Reid out without scoring. 37 extras, 313, and the bowling figures, an outstanding performance from Kapil Dev and Prabhakar. Kapil Dev 3 for 60 and Prabhakar 3 for 82.
Good shot. No backlift to speak of, Ravi Shastri, but some very good timing. On the last 2 deliveries, we've seen him just lean on the ball and on each occasion pick up 3.
It's the kind of wicket that the Indians love, the ball not bouncing too much. And Shastri is very strong off his pads.
And that's well taken. That's beautifully caught at second slip. So the Indian problems at the top of the order continue. And Sidhu goes after having given a chance. A really good low catch at second slip.
Excellent catch there by Mark Waugh. Sidhu trying to leave that ball at the last moment. Couldn't get his bat away in time. And a brilliant catch there by Mark Waugh. First Indian wicket is gone. Navjot Sidhu unsuccessful. India 1 for 7.
Well, that's a short ball, but just wide of the fieldsman there, and that is into the gap. So every now and again they're going to bowl loose deliveries, and that particular loose delivery was dispatched very well to the boundary, and what's more, it brings up the 50.
And taken at second slip by Mark Waugh. The round arm delivery from Merv Hughes. A good bit of variety.
Sanjay Manjrekar falling for that variation from Merv Hughes. The round arm delivery. Manjrekar following that ball, and easy catch to Mark Waugh. Disappointed Manjrekar making his way back. And India has lost their second wicket for 86.
Merv Hughes has got the breakthrough. That brings Dilip Vengsarkar to the crease, and moving into the commentary position we have the 2 Tonys, Tony Greig and Tony Cozier.
Chalked up his 50 with that single, and hence the applause from the crowd. One pushed into the gap for 1, so it's been a while coming, but he knows that he's got to get his head down. Just 2 boundaries in his 50. He's been out there for 180 minutes.
Thick edge down between second slip and gully for 4. Not an entirely convincing shot. And I don't think McDermott and his captain are seeing eye to eye on the field placing at this time.
Yes, I think just a bit of frustration there for McDermott. perhaps suggesting that he'd like that area covered. Playing a long way away, almost as if it was a hand grenade. Notice how he had the bat so far away from his front pad.
And it's a full toss, which brings up India's 100.
Very much India's day. 6 for 79 they took to dismiss Australia for 313, and then by the close of play, this was the way their own innings looked. 2 for 103 with Shastri and Venkata in command. It took 56 overs. The Australians bowled very tightly, but they are certainly inconvenienced by the loss of that fine bowler, Bruce Reid. A wicket for McDermott and 1 for Hughes.
Close, very close. First ball, my word. Big shout from behind the wicket. Ravi Shastri to Craig McDermott. McDermott with his arms folded. Oh, a big start here at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
That'll hurt. Taken on the upper arm. May have got a bit of the elbow. It's either a bit of the elbow or on the muscle of the upper arm, on the back part of the upper arm, and that will smart.
He's got an arm guard on. And Saka, he took it because there was a short leg. It's not unusual for a batsman to take a blow on the shoulder, but that was a direct hit.
Wasn't all that well played, really, because if you're just going to stand there and take him on the arm or on the body.
Oh, it's a good shot. Mind you, it was a full toss. Into the fence for 4. He's dropped him. Well, there's his first opportunity. It's gone begging, and he can't blame anyone.
Again, looking rather inconvenienced. Trying to drive the spinner. The ball has carried. Difficult chance down low to his right. The leg spinner has got to be the best fielder in the side for his own bowling. Shane Warne will be very disappointed.
What a good shot that is. Down the wicket he goes. One bounce over the 4 and 20 pies sign. It's a very aggressive shot.
Having had some problems going down the wicket, a little bit more back lift there for Ravi Shastri, and a little bit of forward lift with the ball too. One bounce into the Brawangal stand, one bounce, one hand, that's out.
He's done it again. And that's gone a long way. Over the top for 6. Whoa. Ravi Shastri has decided to cut loose, and in 2 balls he's scored 10 runs. And that also brings up the 150 for India.
We've talked about the fact that Ravi Shastri has hit 6 sixes in an over in first-class cricket. We can now see how he's done it. A couple of very lusty hits. Really putting the pressure back on Shane Warne now. It'll be interesting to see how the young man handles it.
That's a good shot too. That one's played backward a point. It's bad enough having 5 fours hit off you in an over, let alone 6 sixes. That's the end of the over. 2 for 152.
There doesn't seem to be anything too bad about the light at the moment.
Well, I don't know. He's been beaten by a slow medium pace, and the umpires merely have a union meeting. If it's not going to rain, surely they're not going to come off again, just because he's been beaten by an outswinger. I know it's a tough job umpiring, but a lot of common sense has to take place as well. The batsmen have been there, they're set. They've been there for a long time. It may rain. That's a different thing altogether if it starts to rain, but at the moment one would think the light is still reasonably even though a little bit dull.
Well, now does Ravi want to go off? They're having a look in the pavilion for Mohammad Azharuddin so as they can get any sign from him. Does Ravi want to come off when he's only 5 short of the century? What do they think about it? Do they want to stay on and keep grinding the Australians into the SCG turf? They're going to go off. Well, a disappointment, a real disappointment there for the patrons, 7,000 of them who were at the SCG today. But in the end, there was nothing the umpires could do about it because that cloud came over very black and menacing, and they finally took the players from the ground just before 6 o'clock. Just one point as we look at the scorecard. This is the Indian score, 2 for 178, Shastri 95 and Vensarkar 43, with the men out Sidhu and Manjrekar. And the Australian bowling figures dominated by McDermott, who bowled very well, 27 overs, 11 maidens, 1 for 45, and Hughes, 22 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 44. And Shane Warne bowled better than those figures might suggest, 29 overs, 7 maidens, and none for 70. He missed catching and bowling Shastri at an early stage of his bowling.
Getting out for 99 is not great fun. He's looking for one, they're going for it, and this could be close if he hits. No, it's hit the batsman himself. So Ravi Shastri has scored his 11th Test century. That's his second 100 against Australia in Test cricket. He's 27th in first-class cricket, and he'd be a very, very satisfied Indian.
Fantastic effort. Down on the ropes, 2-0. He struggled against the pace at the Gabba. Melbourne Cricket Ground could hardly get the ball off the square. But this is a very good effort. Lifted the chances of the Indian team for not only this Test match, but for the rest of the series, the World Series Cup and the World Cup. Good team effort.
Yes, he's fought his way all the way to 100. 5 boundaries there and just the 1-6. It's taken quite a long time. That's well played. That ball outside off stump and short and purposely hit over the top of Gully's head down to the boundary for 4. And that gives Vensarkar his half-century. That's his second half-century in the series. He's worked very hard for 2. 2 for 190. In into the air and straight towards them. He is really a good catcher, and McDermott plugging away outside off stump, manages to get that one to move away a little bit, and the edge going straight to Waugh, who made no mistake.
Yes, a very fine catch. Mark Waugh's got a beautiful pair of hands, much like Greg Chappell. He seems to wait for the ball to come to him. It's quite sharp, never any doubt. And McDermott breaks through. A very valuable wicket for the Australian team. They needed that. A big whiff for them. And Sarkar a fine 54. 3 for 197.
Out! What a catch! Magnificent catch by Boone. The second time in this series, he's brought off a miracle catch at forward short leg. That one, in point of fact, didn't stick. It bobbed up in the air, and he was quick enough to recover and grab it, and so all his teammates gathering around. What a catch, David Boone.
Yes, Mohammad Azharuddin really hit that right off the meat of the bat. Then hits the left hand, and out it comes. That's a classic, if you ever saw one, and a big breakthrough. All of a sudden, India lose 2 wickets in 3 deliveries. McDermott does the damage, but that was David Boone's wicket. A great catch. Disappointment from Mohammad Azharuddin. You'd have to be very disappointed with that. 4 for 201.
And he's got that off the meat of the bat. That's a good shot. Right over the top and into the bleachers. 150 for Ravi Shastri.
Well, Ash is really enjoying that one. Ash Gooney there in the red shirt, loving that hit from Ravi Shastri. He's a man who can hit the ball. He's shown that with 6 sixes in an over in first-class cricket. That was a beautiful hit. Heading away to the concourse at the Noble stand, and what a way to bring up the 150 for Ravi Shastri.
Oh, lovely shot. He timed that beautifully, and he's hurrying to see, in fact, if he can come back for a fourth, and they will, as Merv Hughes just loses his footing on the boundary.
Yes, this is a new India, isn't it? They're running between the wickets in this test match. Very positive, very aggressive, putting the Australian fieldsmen for once under a little bit of pressure. They're learning from the Australians. Is Merv, he really is a goer, isn't he? Looking at the big man, he's bowled a lot of overs, he knocked it back. Great effort, but doesn't stop the fourth run.
Alan Border.
Oh, that's an easy catch dropped. He took a magnificent one today in at short leg, and that one came straight in and popped right back out. David Boone.
3 times now for Ravi Shastri. It's his match. This often happens. He's tried to hit him at the ground again. He didn't quite get it. He hit across the line for the first time. Hit it to mid-wicket, and Boone put down a sharp but straightforward catch.
That's a good shot too. Off the back foot, punched into the gap. Had extra cover. And those 2 runs bringing up the 300.
Ravi Shastri's played his part well for the Indian team. He's been there right from the beginning.
Oh, he's dropped him. That would have been a tremendous catch by Border, because the ball was really hit back at him very firmly. But Alan Border, in his time, has taken some great catches, and he'd be a little disappointed with that. That's the 100 partnership between these two. Now you watch Border here. Down the wicket goes Shastri, smashes it back at him. He's in a good position to catch it, but he wasn't quite able to get there. Would have been a great catch.
It's one for the coaching manual.
We're seeing this afternoon the emergence of one of the shining stars of the 90s for world cricket. This young man is a very talented player, as we've discussed before. That's a very classy shot against one of the best strike bowlers in the world, albeit under conditions which are in favour of the bat. Sachin Tendulkar comes on strike. Much more free-flowing player, a lot more flair. And that brings up his 50, and a fine 50 it has been.
Shane Warne.
Ravi Shastri prefers to hit the leg spinner over the offside. He's done it again, and that brings up his highest test score. He's moved along to 190, and that surpasses the 187 which he scored against England at the Oval in 1990. And Ravi Shastri has knocked over a few records here today. He's terrorised young Shane Warne with his ability just to get inside the line and help him over the offside.
Oh, what a shot. Gora, stand up and applaud. A beautiful on drive. That's what people want to see in a test match. Superb strike. 4 for 375. .198 for Shastri. There's a chance. He cuts it past Marsh, but go all the way. Yes, it will. He's going to get 2 here. A tremendous effort by Ravi Shastri. 200, the first time by an Indian in Test cricket in Australia.
It's in the air, Jones under it. That's the end of the innings. Shane Warne gets his first test wicket after prolonged trial and effort, and a superb double century by Ravi Shastri has ended.
A standing ovation for Ravi Shastri. been a great effort. And he's deceived here in the flight, and Shastri plays a half-hearted lofted shot. Jones making no mistake.
He's a good player. What a glorious late cut. Waited for that, and it should go all the way. Jones is coming down hard on it. Very close. Doesn't make it. 4 runs. Tendulkar on to 98. That was a great late cut. He waited and waited and hit it behind point. It was always going to be 4.
I think Border needs to stay quite close to Shane Warne. He is beginning to look just a little dejected there. That one short. It spun away a bit, but it was a very good shot. And perfectly placed as well. It was slightly short. But as it went into the boundary there, Warne just dropped his head a little bit.
Flex, there's a chance. It's fine. He'll get it. Use his wide. He'll come back for the second. Surely. Yes, here he comes. That's great running. Well played. Sachin Tendulkar. His first 100 at the Sydney Cricket Ground. A magnificent knock in good time.
Yes, the youngest player to score a Test 100 in Australia. A fantastic performance by him. He's timed the ball beautifully, placed it well.
And Australia on the ropes for the first time in this series as far as bowling is concerned. Could be out. No, he's safe. Over mid-off. Down it goes for 4.
I'll tell you what, he's not hanging around Tendulkar. He's got his 100, and it was almost as if he's decided that if it's up there, it's really going to go, and he's going to score his runs very quickly now. Have a look at this. Just short of a length on the up, over the top. It was always going to go over the top of mid-off as well.
Gone. Mark Taylor gets 1. Merv Hughes picks up 2. Prabhakar out for 14. 6 for 434.
Yes, there was never any doubt about that one. Merv Hughes nagging away just outside off stump. That went very quickly to slip. But Taylor is a good slip fieldsman. And this is how it happened. Off the edge, a wideish delivery. And he watched it right into those hands of his. So Merv Hughes has struck. Prabhakar out. And it's 6 for 434.
Kapil Dev, great Indian all-rounder. Batting average of 30, 113 tests, the highest score 163, but one of the best hitters in world cricket. Despite the fact that Hughes and McDermott are operating, he'll certainly, one feels, try to crest the ball everywhere now in this next hour or so, if he can survive the first initial onslaught from Hughes and McDermott. No, says the umpire. Yes, says the umpire.
Well, I must say my initial reaction was that it bounced just in front of him. So I don't blame the batsman for staying there. Well, the umpires had a little glance at each other, and they then decided that it was out. Let's have a look at the replay.
My initial thoughts was a clean catch. Let's have a look at it on replay. Nice diving forward. No doubt from Merv or Marsh. Kapil wasn't all that keen.
Yes, it was very, very close to the ground, and he probably got his fingers underneath it just as it was about to hit the ground. There's certainly no doubt at all in the mind of the gully fieldsman Marsh there, and heeled it up straight away, and so did his colleagues in that area. 7 for 434. Big Merv gets a test match hat-trick. I just can't imagine how you're going to behave.
Court Jones bowled Hughes. There's never been a hat-trick in an Australian-India series. Here he comes. No hat-trick. Well played, Pandit.
That's in the air. It's a difficult one and not quite taken by Whitney this time. He held that magnificent catch down at the MCG to finish off the Indian innings, but he couldn't quite make this one.
Tendulkar chancing his arm. He scored his 100. He wants to help the Indian score be pushed along. Mike Whitney, as Tony said, took quite a good catch at the MCG. Running alongside him was Alan Border, who in fact caught Sachin Tendulkar. Similar sort of situation to this. May have been better if Alan Border had been a bit closer, but either way it would have been a very, very difficult chance, and it's no disgrace to Michael Whitney to have got that close and just failed to get to the ball.
Almost identical. That single brings up the 450. It's also the end of the over. 7 wickets are down. Just one slip. Australia aren't going to give any runs away. They can possibly help it. A good shot, right off the meat of the bat, but third man is covered. Back for the second.
That's a good bit of cheeky running. I reckon they almost made the decision on the wide throw, because they didn't appear to be taking the second until Pandit saw that Ian Healy had been dragged away from the stumps by Whitney's throw. There he makes the decision on the throw. That's very cheeky running, but also good running.
Let it go at that one, and this could be out of your head. Says it. Well done, Merv Hughes. So often this year the Australians have hit the stumps. So Pandit run out as a result of that direct hit from Merv Hughes. He may have been better off getting between himself and the bowler.
I think he was trying actually, but he just couldn't get into that position quick enough, and he was a bit unfortunate, Pandit, because he was in a bit of he was in a bad position there, really. After playing the shot, he was in a bad position to take off and run, whereas Tendulkar was on the move. So he really did leave him a bit high and dry. India 8 for 4, 58.
In the air, out. Caught by Border at mid-off. Banerjee trying to drive that one down the ground. He hit it right in the meat of the bat, just carried to Border. So unfortunately for Banerjee, that's the end of his first test innings.
Good catch there by Alan Border. Had to come forward a couple of paces and just picked it up centimetres from the turf. Banerjee is gone. India 9 for 474.
Javagal Srinath is the new batsman.
Back down a long off. Will they go for 2 this time? Whitney's the fieldsman. Oh, it's got to be suicide this time, surely. He's gone this time. Run out. All out, India. With 483. Srinath run out, going for the second run. Sacrificed himself for his team. And young Sachin Tendulkar remains not out, to the delight of this crowd. A fine test innings. 148 not out. Congratulations from Dean Jones. A very good ovation from the crowd for the young Indian batsman. Big Merv comes down. It's great to see. They appreciate a fine innings from a young man with a ton of class. A standing ovation from the members and from the Australian players as well.
It's a splendid performance by India, 483, but I really couldn't see the purpose of them going on this morning. I thought it was just time wasted where they might have been out there trying to take Australian wickets. A standing ovation for Sachin Tendulkar, 148 not out, and a terrific performance from him, and the tail unable to stay with him, 483, so a good performance from the Australians to pick up those extra wickets. The bowling figures for Australia: McDermott 4 for 147 and Hughes 3 for 104. Really big-hearted efforts there, and they were backed up by some wonderful fielding. There were a lot of runs saved by the Australians, and that Indian total of 483 could have been considerably higher. So 170 the lead for India. We join play now in the Australian reply, their second innings. It's the fourth over. Prabhakar is bowling to Mark Taylor, and it's no wicket for 9.
That's off a shot. Whoa, dear. They're taking a chance, the batsmen today, by not offering a shot.
That's why they brought the law in. So many players in the 50s pushing their pads at the ball and not being out. And that's the reason the law was brought in. Keith Miller, a great all-rounder in an earlier era.
We've got him. Have they down the leg side? Yes, he's out, caught behind. First innings it was bowled. This time it's a leg glance. Intelligent cricket by Kapil Dev. Picks up Marsh. India have broken through. There it is. He glances, gets a feather on that. Through to Pandit. A little bit of a fumble there, but he's got it. That's the first wicket down. India led by 170 when this innings started. Marsh out. It's 1 for 9. Gone. What a catch. Mohammad Azharuddin at gully takes a gem. That could be the turning point in this match. Snapped without a wicket. Short. Boone went for the square cut, and the captain took a great catch.
Wideish, and he went after it. He hit it pretty hard, but it didn't come off the middle and went straight into the midriff of Azharuddin, and you can see the smile of relief on the face of Srinath with his first wicket. 2 for 31. Mark Waugh coming in at number 4 as he did in the first innings. Change in the Australian order. Failed in the first innings, and here he is now to face Srinath. It's a good first delivery as well. Indians ready on their toes now. They can sense a chance here. Got 2 early wickets. They've got a lead of 170. Ooh. Well, that's illustrating the point. Flashing outside the off stump, and it was very close to.
This is Prabhakar. Well played. Didn't quite get to the boundary. They'll get 3 though. Two for 54. Oh, big appeal there. That's out. Yes, no doubt about that. It kept a bit low. So Prabhakar has struck. It looked to me as if it was headed for leg stump, but more than anything, it was probably the fact that it kept just a little bit low, and as a result, that's the end of war.
It's interesting, that one definitely online, out LBW. You just wonder what psychological effect it had on Mark Waugh, having those 2 close infielders on the leg side. He's such a strong player in that area. But anyway, whatever the case, he's out LBW to Prabhakar for 18, and Australia 3 for 55.
Big shout from Pandit, and the umpire Randell taking a while, thinking about it, and then he gives Dean Jones out. So Ravi Shastri has struck.
Well, there's no doubt about the shout from the wicketkeeper. And Jones only seemed mildly enthusiastic about it. He's gone, caught Chandrakant Pandit, bowled Shastri for 18, 4 for 85.
Alan Border, who demoted himself to number 6 for this test match.
So Australia's 100 on the board leaves them still 70 in arrears. India getting that first innings lead of 170.
brilliant catch. Kapil Dev fielding at point. It wasn't a particularly good delivery, and I don't really think that Mark Taylor can blame the footmarks. I'm sure psychologically he was aware of those footmarks. But it was a half-hearted shot. He wasn't really sure that he wanted to play it. It's hit the thick outside edge of the bat. It's gone slowly in the air. Kapil Dev, great athlete that he is, makes a valiant diving attempt. In fact, it might be Srinath fielding in that position. It was a brilliant catch. Australia 5 for 106.
Just having lost the batsman who had been there from the beginning, Ian Healy now comes out to join his captain.
Oh, and that's in the air. This is gone. Healy's trying to have a go at it. Will he drop it? No, he won't. So Healy's out, trying to hit against the spin. The pressure getting to him there. That was an atrocious shot. He won't like that one very much. Have a look at it again.
Yes, that's the pressure of the situation. Here is a great team player. This time he loses his cool, tries to hit it against the spin. Ravi Shastri didn't play one of those shots in 5-6 hours. Prabhakar takes a straightforward catch, and all of a sudden India are in with a real chance here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and they know it. Healy out, caught at mid-wicket for 7, 6 for 114.
Merv Hughes, the new batsman.
Gone over the top. The mid-on and the mid-off are in the orthodox position, so that's twice now he's gone over the top. That's carried all the way for 4.
Merv has hit down the ground a couple of times. He's chosen well. He's also struck the ball very well.
Oh, what a good catch. What a brilliant catch at first slip. It was the quicker one, and it went fine off the edge of Merv Hughes' bat, and Prabhakar has taken a brilliant catch on the left hand. That's just the sort of thing that India needed to lift them back into the game.
Hughes pushing at that, and an absolutely brilliant catch there by Manoj Prabhakar. Just the breakthrough the Indians are looking for at this stage. Merv Hughes out for 21, caught Prabhakar, bowled Tendulkar, and that's the 7th Australian wicket down for 164.
Craig McDermott strides to the crease, taking the place of Mervyn Hughes.
Tension out in the centre. Tight feeling across the back of the neck. Well known to captains all around the world. And that is just the way to bring up your 50, make sure India have to bat again, and to set the opposition on the back foot. Brilliant.
Alan Border has summoned up all his powers of concentration today. Hasn't played a lot of aggressive shots. He hasn't missed too many scoring opportunities. There's an appeal there, and he's been given out. Craig McDermott's not a happy man. He played forward. As far as he was concerned, it just hit the pad and dollied to Venkateswarlu at the offside bat pad position. He has failed to score.
Well, go for anything, and it's successful. McDermott goes 8 for 171.
Kane Warne is the new Australian batsman.
And he's all set.
Shouts of catch it or up him or whatever else the Indians call when the ball goes in the air. A little bit of bat pad in the air, but the fielder just a bit too square in that position. Needed to be a bit straighter on that occasion.
What a marvellous performance and what a great game. It's one of those where a draw is a just result, even though the Indians might feel themselves badly done by, but it certainly was a super game of cricket played on a very good pitch, on a result pitch, and only the weather stopped that happening. This is the card. 8 for 173 at the end. Border, I reckon that's one of his best ever innings. It's certainly not his biggest score, but card. 8 for 173 at the end. Border, I reckon that's one of his best ever innings. It's certainly not his biggest score, but 53 not out in those circumstances was wonderful. Warren was there with him at the end. He won't forget that on his debut. And Hughes, a very sensible partnership, 50 from 141 balls with Border. 8 for 173, and the Indian bowling figures, they stuck at it all the time. Azharuddin tried everything he knew. Kapil Dev a wicket, Prabhakar 1, Srinath 1, and Shastri 4 for 45 in 25 overs and 8 maidens was man of the match. Tendulkar took his first Test match wicket to go with that century he made as an 18-year-old.